Satanism is a relatively modern transgressive religion. It refers to the worship and honor of the devil. Christians seem to have provoked the idea of Satanism as a real issue within society around the 1970s, but they blamed a lot of mainstream issues and criminality on the subject. The idea of the devil has continually been characterized as an evil other, which seduces humans into corrupt and sinful thoughts and behaviors. The Bible represents the devil as a serpent, which rebels against God and manipulates Eve to eat the forbidden fruit. This act is said to have taken away human purity and corrupted the whole of humanity, and the reason for our immortality and the disasters which happen in today's society. These assumptions have created fear amongst many people and reinforced strong Christian beliefs and values. This especially had an impact in the 1980s to 1990s, when moral panics around devil worship and Satanism were at their peak. It was indoctrinated into people's minds that the devil would affect a person's relationship with God, and was the difference between good and bad, Satanism being at one end of the moral spectrum and God being at the other. Although Satanism has no fixed meaning, there are two main types of satanic beliefs. These are theistic and atheistic. Theistic Satanists believe that the devil is a real supernatural being and worship this figure. They focus on being spiritually connected to the supernatural world through rituals and what they believe to be magic. In contrast, atheistic Satanists believe that there is no such thing as God or the devil and do not participate in any kind of devil worship. It's more of a philosophical belief based on individualism. This idea of atheistic Satanism was founded by Anton LaVey, who believed Satanism was based on egotism. He believed you should focus your energy on yourself before anything or anyone else. Being selfish or greedy was necessary.
That force, whatever God one chooses to pray to or to command. In the case of Satanism, rather than pray, I feel whatever God exists should be the God that carries a person along, that carries them through, that makes them a better person, that makes them live a better life and naturally a more pleasant life. And I feel that you have to be kind to yourself, indulgent to yourself, before you know what it's like to be kind to others.
These strong beliefs LaVey felt, and after encouragement from his followers, led him to open the Church of Satan. Despite making it known that they were not practicing or involved in devil worship, many people believed they were having group meetings in order to discuss how to overthrow the Christian Church. This became the center of the moral panic around Satanism. They were believed to participate in paganism, witchcraft rituals, and satanic magic. Allegations were made that these rituals were being conducted involved various types of abuse, particularly towards children. These ideas caused many modern-day witch hunts, and after being spread through publicity, caused many people falsely accused and or arrested for crimes they did not commit. An example of this is the West Memphis 3. This high-profile case was about 3 teenagers who were accused of killing 3 8-year-old boys in Arkansas, US, 1993, in an apparent act of satanic ritual. The victims were subject to shocking abuse, both violent and sexual, before being killed. The teens were convicted and charged for the murders. One of the teens was sentenced to death and the other 2 were given life imprisonment. However, this case caused much controversy as many people thought there was not enough evidence, if any at all, to convict the teenagers accused, and felt that the police's allegations were purely based on the fact that these teens were outcasts in their very religious town, wearing black, listening to dark music, and having an interest into paganism. New forensic evidence released later raised concerns and doubts of the accused, and so all 3 were released 18 years after being imprisoned.
Eddie Vedder.
I'm also here to show my support for the West Memphis 3.
Speaking out for the defendants. 3 little Cub Scouts hog-tied and left in an Arkansas ditch, and 3 teenagers enamored with satanic rituals arrested. It made headlines all over the country, even becoming the subject of 3 HBO documentaries called Paradise Lost.
We were really the obvious choice because we stood out. I didn't kill these 3 little boys.
The celebrities fighting for the teens.
Despite the panic around Satanism appearing to die down after many people accused of being Satanists were found to be innocent, Suspicion and beliefs are still very much apparent in places across the world. For example, in the Congo, located Central Africa, there have been many cases of people, in particular children, who have been left homeless after their parents have disowned them, believing they have been possessed by the devil or involved in witchcraft.
It seems like the stuff of legends, but accusations of sorcery and witchcraft still exist, and they can affect the most vulnerable. Every morning, Josiane comes to Children's Voice, a youth center for counseling and support. The young orphan lived with her aunt in Goma until she was accused of witchcraft.
One morning, while I was at school, a child had a fit at home. It was like an epileptic fit. He was brought to the hospital, and the doctor said he diagnosed nothing. Since that day, my uncle's wife said I was responsible for that illness, and she's never seen anything like that before.
Her uncle's family threw her out of the house.
When people said I was a witch, it hurt me. And I told myself I must get married, only to find a home on my own.
Many children have had to go through exorcisms by religious pastors in their community in order to beat the devil out of them and release any evil from their body. It is said that up to 50,000 children have been accused of witchcraft and have been put into shelters across the Congo. But is this a result of strong Christian beliefs and panic around Satanism still being relevant, or is it a widespread social and economic issue which is to do with families not having the right resources or standard of living to help provide for their children? Going back to the fear around Satanism, a lot of the panic seems to derive from people trying to avoid the real issues going wrong within society. As Stanley Cohen would suggest, Satanists were used as folk devil in order to avoid the real issues that were going on. For example, that murderers or those engaging in transgressive behaviours were actually ordinary people amongst that community, and that the lack of rehabilitation services were available. But it's easier to blame people who are outcast as different and fit a certain stereotype which is given to the idea of what's evil. This is also relevant when looking at the cases within the Congo, as many children seem to have been branded witches or possessed due to their families being unable to feed or look after them, again avoiding real issues such as poverty and neglect in parts of this country.